Speech sound disorders can be thought of as either organic or functional. In the organic category, that would include neurological disorders, structural abnormalities like a cleft lip or other structural irregularities, or thirdly, sensory or perceptual disorder, which would be like hearing loss. In the other category, we have functional speech disorders. These are related to motor production of speech sounds and linguistic aspects of speech production. This category is made up by articulation disorders and phonological disorders. These two are difficult to differentiate between and are often lumped together as speech sound disorders. However, articulation disorders focus on errors in speech sounds. This could be distortions or substitutions, whereas phonological disorders are error patterns that affect more than one sound. This could be deleting the final sound of a word, or fronting, which is changing back of tongue sounds like g and k, where we use the back of the tongue, to front of tongue sounds, which would make g, d, like a D sound, and k, when you use the front of the tongue, becomes t, like a T sound. The word get becomes dit, or the word cat becomes tat when you are fronting. My personal connection to these disorders, in my career, I have always worked with older students, mostly 8th graders. I have relied heavily on my school's SLP, or speech language pathologist, to assess, serve, and monitor the speech needs of my students and the students in the school. It is rare that a student hasn't been identified as having speech need services in the 8th grade. Most are evaluated in elementary school if they're seeing to be a need. In my experience, my school SLP goes by the informal rule that if they have made it this far without speech supports, it is likely that they don't need them. Because most students who need speech supports are identified in elementary school, it is not a well-known process among middle and high school educators outside of the SLPs. This can have a negative impact on students because teachers are less equipped to support these students' needs in an inclusive way. The students receive their supports in speech therapy sessions, but rarely in the inclusive classroom. However, a positive implication is that the assessment process for identifying students with speech sound disorders allows for early intervention for a major percentage of these students. They're identified at a young age and receive the services they need from providers who are more familiar with the process and their needs.